Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. Today on the program, the tourism chief is in hot water after controversial ad placements.
The contract was between PTV4 and DOT. Wala na po akong pakialam kung ilalagay nila sa kapatid ko.
Malacanang vows to investigate.
The palace will investigate the matter. We cannot, of course, we have to accept the findings of the COA and the...
But her legal counsel reveals a move by Bitag Media to end the controversy.
Na para matapos na lang ang usapan na sila ay may ginawang mali dito ay ibinabalik na po.
Is it a closed case or an admission of guilt? Secretary Wanda Tulfo-Teo's legal counsel, Atty. Ferdinand Topacio, joins us live. And later, YouTube video creators gather for their annual Fan Fest. We get to know what makes a video viral and an online superstar. Thank you for joining us. I'm Pinky Webb, a block timer owned by Tourism Secretary Wanda Tulfo-Teo's brothers on government television network PTV4. Will return the 60 million peso ad placements from the tourism department. That's according to Teo's lawyer, Ferdinand Topacio. He says Bitag producer Ben Tulfo met with his family and decided to return the money to put an end to the controversy. COA earlier revealed Teo's department placed 60 million pesos worth of advertising budget to PTV4, which in turn put these in Kilos Pronto, the show of her brothers Ben and Erwin Tulfo. COA said the transaction lacked supporting documents. How is Secretary Teo handling these controversies? Let's go straight to the source of the story. Attorney Ferdinand Topacio, attorney.
Yes.
Welcome to the show again, sir.
Yes, it's always a pleasure, Pinky. As you know, I always tweet this every day. Pinky Webb is heart.
Thank you. Attorney, has Secretary Teo tendered her resignation?
Well, in response to that, there is no call for her to resign from the president. They met last night, and according to her, it was cordial. But the final decision, of course, will be up to her. She's now studying her options very carefully, especially after the announcement that she asked me to make yesterday.
So let's look at this picture. This was Monday night, sir, in Malacanang. The Philippine Star is saying that the president asked for a one-on-one meeting with Secretary Teo and asked her to tender her resignation. True or not true?
Well, I wasn't there, but she said there was no such demand from the president.
The president didn't ask her to resign.
No, there was no such demand. According to her, the president just said that, study your options carefully in view of the things that have transpired, or words to that effect.
Did she voluntarily say, Mr. President, should I tender my resignation?
No, she did not.
She didn't also offer that option?
No, because, her conscience is clear, and in light of the developments yesterday, she believes that she has shown her good faith and lack of malice in this case.
You know, people are talking about such photos, sir, because the last time a photo like this came out during a Monday night meeting, also in Malacanang, was with Secretary Vit Aguirre. It seemed like all was well. And then after Secretary Vit Aguirre tendered his resignation. Could this be the same scenario here, sir?
Well, we shall see in the next few days whether history will repeat itself.
What do you call it, sir?
I'm sorry?
What did you call this, the handshake?
The handshake of death. Well, we're keeping our fingers crossed, but whatever happens will happen.
Yeah. So, will she resign? Can you tell me the truth, sir? Is she thinking about resigning?
She has not told me that, it is also one of the options, of course. I would not be telling you the truth if I would deny that. But so far, she has not told me anything about resigning in a concrete manner.
If she were to resign and it was put in paper, would you have to compose that for her?
Well, it depends if she asks me to, because I'm just a lawyer. Ultimately, the decision is all hers to make. It's a matter between her and her conscience.
Okay, so she doesn't think that she should resign?
I really do not know. She thinks that if she should resign, it would not be because she thinks she has done wrong, but probably to spare her family and, of course, more importantly, the president, any more pain with respect to this issue.
Because of this issue. Now let's talk about. But before we leave that, one last question about that. Was there a one-on-one meeting, according to Secretary Teo, with the President? You
Well,
know,
it wasn't a one-on-one meeting, strictly speaking, according to her. There were other people present to give their opinion on the issues.
Like who?
Well, I'm not at liberty to say. I'm sorry.
All right, let's talk about the issue. I know you're a lawyer. Obviously, you know how much you can tell me, and I know napiga ko na ho kayo dyan. So let's talk about the issue, sir. So BITAG wants or has returned the 60 million pesos.
Well,
sir.
it has signified its intention to return. I was in the middle of a rally in front of the Supreme Court when Mr. Ben Tulfo called me up and said that after much soul searching and meditation, he has decided to return the 60 million, although he said that it's not as if the 60 million is just lying there, waiting to be returned. It has already been spent for production, etc. And he emphasizes that the requirements under the contract have been fully complied with. The ads have been aired, etc. But just to write fini to the issue and to show their good faith and their lack of malice, then they are returning the money.
So it's not an admission of guilt.
It is not, because well, you know, when you return something, it's not restitution. It's an act of goodwill. It's a class act. Just to, you know, quash all rumors of the Tulfos having benefited from the fact that Secretary Teo is the head of the Department of Tourism, and all of these unsavory rumors that have been floating around. It's more of the fact that the name of the Tulfo family cannot be equated with any amount of money.
Okay, but you said that it's not as if the brothers, the Tulfo brothers, benefited from Secretary Wanda Teo, but they did, sir. They did benefit.
Well, the fact that the...
When you get 60 million pesos in ads, sir, even if I was the sister, I benefited from that.
Well, in a manner of speaking, perhaps, but they wish to emphasize that according to PTV4 sources, the consideration of placing the ads in the Kilos Pronto program was not because it was hosted by the Tulfos or it was produced by Ben Tulfo, but because it is to gain the most media mileage from the ads.
Because it's a top rater.
Yes, definitely.
Which makes sense. Doon mo naman talaga lalagay yung ads doon sa top rater ng PTV4, which is that Kilos Pronto show.
Yes, although I must admit, Ma'am Pinky, that I've told them the optics do not look really good.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So the COA was asking for supporting documents. It has no supporting documents such as the MOA between BITAG and PTV, certificate of performance, the duly approved budget utilization request, and billing statement dealing with deliverables. Where are these, sir? Do we know where these are?
Well, that I must again put to the fore the fact that DOT under Secretary Teo is not the one under investigation. COA is demanding certain documents from PTV4, People's Television Network, Inc. And there is no privity as between BITAG and DOT with respect to the ad placements.
Yeah, so that's clear because maybe some are confused that it's DOT that's being investigated.
No, it is not.
It's PTV. Pero lumabas po that DOT placed 60 million pesos in ads, and then those some of those ads actually, well, 100 million? Is it 100?
It's 120 placed all throughout the programming of PTV4, not just Kilos Pronto.
In fact, it was supposed to be more, pero medyo nababa to 120
yes,
something.
at tumawad pa nga, it was supposed to be 220 million, more than 220 million. But lumabas yung pagkakuripot ni Secretary Wanda, tinawaran ng 120 million.
So, here's the thing, sir. Secretary Teo did not know that the money, or 60 million, or part of that money was going to go to her brother's show, sir?
Honestly, she did not, because if she did, then she would have vetoed it from the beginning.
She would have.
Yes, because it would be so obvious and brazen, and I don't think Secretary Wanda would be so brazen as to insist on something that would definitely, come back and bite her in the butt, so to speak.
But if that is true, sir, when she had a press conference, why didn't she say it very clearly back then that somebody, kasi you were saying that there's an internal investigation ongoing. In fact, on radio, I think on DZMM, you said, sir, that somebody's at fault here. Somebody
There was someone, yes, who did not do his or her job with respect to this contract.
Yeah, but in the contract, sir, nandun po nakasulat that 60 million will go to BTAG. And then you have the signature of Secretary Teo there.
Yes, definitely. We do not deny that. And we also, in fact, we were the ones who supplied media with the letter of PT-B4 saying that it would be placed with Kilos Pronto.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, what are you saying, sir? Secretary Teo signed that not knowing that 60 million was going to go to BTAG.
Well, she did not know how much would go to, well, it did not say BTAG actually. It said Kilos Pronto. And
sorry,
honestly,
Kilos Pronto,
yeah,
sorry.
And honestly, she told me that she did not know that Kilos Pronto was hosted or produced by any of her brothers. Otherwise, she would have squelched it immediately.
Hindi niya talaga alam that that was Ben and Erwin.
Yes,
Tulfo.
that's why she was as surprised as anyone when she saw that there was this a big brouhaha over the issue.
But she knows Erwin is with PTV4.
Yes, as a talent, because Erwin also hosts a news broadcast.
Yes, that's right. All right, we'll be taking a short break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. When we return, is there a need for a Senate investigation into issues hounding Secretary Wanda Tulfo? And an annual gathering of YouTube stars is back in Manila. We'll talk about the YouTube Fan Fest later in the program. So we're still... You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, Tourism Secretary Wanda Tulfo-Teo's legal counsel, Attorney Ferdinand Topacio. Sir, Senator Ping Lacson was saying that it's lame for Secretary Wanda Tulfo-Teo to say that she didn't know where the money went. In fact, it's a question, I think he went on to say, of ethics and if it's not appropriate, sabi niya. How would you respond as her defense counsel on this?
Well, Senator Lacson is of course entitled to his own opinion, but he should also factor in that how many times has anyone ever offered to return anything to the government? And this is one of those few rare instances, I believe.
Sir, can they easily return the 60 million pesos? And if so, if Secretary Wanda Tulfo-Teo does resign, isasoli pa po ba nila Ben Tulfo yung 60 million pesos?
Definitely, that is the commitment on the part of Ben Tulfo. This does not anymore go to whether Secretary Teo stays or not.
Okay.
This goes to doing what they think is the right thing, and this goes into the value that the Tulfo family places on their name, which is Tulfo.
So tuloy ang balik.
Definitely.
Kailan daw, sir?
Well, I have yet to talk to the state auditors. Actually, I instructed my staff already to get in touch with them because honestly, I do not know how these things go about. This is the first time I've had someone tell me to help them return something to the government. It's usually to help them get something from government.
Who will they return it to?
Well,
Who do you think? Kanino ba dapat?
Let me consult COA because these are DOT funds actually. I don't know if they're going to return it to the DOT or if that is again going to raise eyebrows, then maybe just return it to the general fund, the National Treasury.
Pwede
Yes.
rin doon. But is it easy to come up with 60 million pesos?
No, it is not,
Yeah?
actually. That's why I said that this gesture on the part of Mr. Ben Tulfo is a class act. Because it is not as if the money is there. The money is no longer there. The undertakings under the contract with PTV4 have been complied with, which is the airing of ads. Nonetheless, just to put closure to the issue that they have benefited from government funds, they are willing to return.
So you talked about an internal investigation. Is the secretary saying that this was maliciously done or hindi naman po?
No naman. What the investigation seeks to uncover is who was remiss in his or her duty of informing her that, excuse me, Secretary, this is hosted by your brothers. And I asked PT before, and this is produced by BTAG, which is owned by Ben Tulfo. So, a secretary has so many things to do. Just so many things on her plate that she only looks at the larger picture.
So there's
The
no malice.
minutiae.
You're not looking at malice here.
No, we're
Na
looking at
sinadya.
fault or negligence or lack of foresight because, the secretary only, she's not concerned with minutiae. She has her subordinates for that.
But there's still the issue of command responsibility here, sir,
Definitely.
even if there was somebody negligent.
Yes, we are not shirking from that responsibility as in fact. We were transparent and we furnished media with copies of all just to show that PTB4 was the one who initiated this whole contract.
Sir, when did you last speak to Secretary Wanda Tulfo-Teo?
I think around 5:30 this morning.
This morning?
Yes.
And still no resignation, you're telling us? Or you don't, between us girls, sabi mo nga. Huh? Do you not want to tell us or... Ano ho ba?
Well, secret.
So, posibleng in the offing nga yan. Alright. Attorney Ferdinand Topacio, sir, maraming salamat. Baka po mangyari yung resignation within the day kung ganyan ang sagot ninyo.
Well, we shall soon find out, won't we?
Keep your phone handy, sir. We might call you back again later on after the show. Maraming salamat kay Attorney Ferdinand Topacio. Sir, always a pleasure.
Thank you so
Maraming
much.
salamat
God
po sa
bless,
inyo.
Pinky.
Thank you, sir. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. What can we expect from the upcoming YouTube Fan Fest? Find out after the break.